Hey everyone, I'm going to do the PJs tutorial tonight. I'm just going to do a girls pair because they're basically all the same. You do a woman's or you do a child's, it's basically the same thing. I'm just going to get to be able to do the bottoms tonight. I don't think I'm going to be able to do the tops. So the pattern I'm going to do, hold on one second, let me get the envelope. The pattern I'm going to do is by, is this Quick Sew? I think it's Quick Sew. But anyhow, it's K213. I'm going to eventually make the top, but tonight I'm going to make the bottoms. And then I've got the doll pajama set cut out also. Because I'm going to put this in my shop, and I thought it would be nice if I did a dolls to go with the girls. Alright, well I'm going to go ahead and get started. Let me turn this camera around because that way you can see the sewing machine. So I'm going to stop just for a second so I can get turned around. Okay, I've got you all set here. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to sew the legs up. So let me find the piece here for the legs. Okay, for the girls' pajamas, there's only one pattern for the leg, and you cut out two. And I don't have my thing to put my pins on. Hold on. I put it over there on my cutting table, and I forgot to bring it back. Alright, let me go ahead and take my pins out. I'll make sure I don't have any notches. If you have any notches, make sure you get those all taken care of before you start sewing, because you have to match up like the inside crotch and that kind of thing. So checking here, yeah, I thought I did. Alright, let me get the scissors. Where's my nice scissors at? Oh, there they are. Okay. Let me go ahead and cut my notches. I forgot to do that too. I was trying to get this cut out. I have been busy all day today. I've got designs I've been trying to get downloaded today that I've had in my email all week. And I had to go out of town 2 days this week for appointments, and I haven't had any time to do anything, so I've only had today to get done what I normally would do on Monday and Tuesday. I guess between now and Christmas I'm really going to have to work double time to get everything done. Alright, that looks like that's it. Alright, so now take all these pins out. Now, in the pattern for the pajama bottoms for the girls, and it's also true for women patterns, boys patterns, whatever, you can do either long pants, like lounge pants, or you can do like the shorts. And the pattern pieces do have lines on them to show you where the cotton line would be for the shorts and where they would be for the pants. Okay, so the instructions say, wait a minute here, I'm supposed to have 4 legs, right? It says, oh darn it, no I do. Oh, wait a minute. I think I made a mistake. I don't think I cut out. Hold on, I hope I did. No, that's the sleeve. I don't think I cut out a leg. There's the top. Oh no. Oh no. I didn't cut out. Oh my goodness. You know what? I made a boo-boo. I made a big boo-boo. Okay, well, you know what? Alright, let me see something here. Alright, you know what? Oh, I'm not going to be able to do this, and I've already cut everything out. That means fabric wasted. Okay, well, I'll have to... Let's see, I'll be going to Joann's. I think I'll be going to... I'll have to go to Joann's this week. That's all there is to it. Okay, I'm going to do the doll. I'll do the doll pants. They are the same as the girls' pants. Alright, we're just going... That's okay. We can just switch around. Sorry about that. I had planned I was going to do the girls. Oh well. Well, I've got the top and everything cut out, so that's a good thing. Alright. I'm cutting out my notches for the doll pants. So I'll just show you on the doll pants, and like I said, they're basically the same way. And as soon as I get these notches done, then I can show you what I'm talking about. I'm listening to a Christian station if you're just wondering what that noise is in the background. I like to listen to BBN, which is Bible Broadcast Network. I can't get this notch cut. It doesn't want to... The fabric doesn't want to cut out. There we go, finally. Alright. Alright, I think I'm going to have to shut the camera for right now because I have to... I had the thread all set up, but I think I'm going to have to change the thread to red because the doll pants are red. So, let me go ahead and do that and I'll be right back. Alright, I already did one leg and now I'm getting ready to do the other leg. So what you need to do is you need to get the front piece and the back piece. And can't see that very well. Let me scooch up this way. Alright, and you see right along here, that's called the inside leg. And so you need to stitch all the way up to this edge right here. Let me show you. This edge right here, this is where you need to stitch up to. Make sure you have your notches all matched up and everything. So, like I said, this is your inside leg, and this is going to be the same for women's patterns, men's patterns, boys, girls, same thing. Now, I will tell you that each pair of pants, not each pair of pants, I'm sorry, each company has their own way of writing out patterns for like pajama pants or shorts or whatever. But most of the companies, theirs is done this way. And I'm going to tell you later on what you're going to end up doing is you're going to have to put one leg inside the other. And that's not as scary as it sounds. I tell you what, the first pair of pants I made, I got it wrong and I did it over and over until I knew I had it right. I forgot to tell you to make sure that you have your right sides together when you do this. Now, what I normally like to do, because this does fray, cotton, this is a cotton fabric, is I like to do a zigzag. Now, like on a pair of shorts or pants or something for myself, I'd probably put it on my serger, but something like this, I'm not going to worry about. So I've got my zigzag set, and I'm going to go ahead and just quickly do a zigzag. just so that way I know that whatever little girl is playing with this with her doll, and just in case the mother washes it, it doesn't get all frayed. And I would do this on the girls' shorts too. You know, I could have probably done a shorter length on my zigzag. So, let me see here. Let me do a shorter length. Yeah, that's better. Okay, that's much better. Okay. Alright, so you want to do both legs the same way that I just showed you. Okay, so the next set of and then you're going to make sure you get your elastic and everything already. Alright, so the next thing you want to do is, let's see what it says. Okay, so you want to, I forgot to zigzag my other pant leg. Give me 1 second to do that, because the next step is where you're going to be putting one inside the other. So let me go ahead and do this one. I'm sorry if the camera's wiggly. You're sitting on my machine. I'm using my iPad because I wanted to make... The iPad does better because it has a wider screen. I feel like you can see what I'm doing better. Alright. I ordered a tripod from Wish, and I'm waiting on that to come in. Alright, so now... Oh, I knew there was another instruction I forgot to do. Alright, we need, before we put one inside the other, we need to get the long edge, which... Alright, we need to get the long edge all the way up here on the other side. Here is where you just sewed your inside seam. This is going to be on the side. This is your side seam right here. So we're going, let me go ahead and pin this up. I hope everyone is doing well tonight. I always put my pins over to the side because it's easier for me to pull them out that way. I'm glad I remembered this step in time. Alright, go ahead and pin the other one, because I'm going to just run them both together. And I always like to pin, because that way I don't have to keep fiddling with it to line up the raw edges. So you need to cut out 2 pieces for the front and 2 pieces for the back. And when I said that there's some companies that have their patterns written out differently, well, that's because you've got a big pattern piece and you're going to be cutting out 2 instead of 4, you know, like 2 backs and 2 fronts. Well, you're just going to be cutting out 2 because one's going to be the front and one's going to be the back. So that's the reason behind that. Okay, but most patterns for pajama bottoms, pants, shorts, whatever, they are all done this way pretty much. It's very rare I come across a pattern like I just told you with the you know, it's a whole piece, and you have to cut out just 2, one for the front, one for the back. Alright. But like I said, most companies, they have their patterns like this. This one got out of line. Hold on one second so I can fix it, so I can get the seams together. I mean the raw edges. There we go. Let me just back up, because I didn't have my needle down. Alright. And I always do a backup stitch after I go up a couple of stitches. I always do the backup stitch, but if you've watched enough of my videos, you know that. My tutorials. I always do it that way. Alright. And I'm also going to do a zigzag on these too. It's 9 o'clock at night. When I'm done with this, I'm going to bed because I have to get up at 7:30 and go to work. I hate it when I have weeks where I can't get accomplished what I want to get done. That means I have to try to get it done in my shop. And I would rather devote my sewing time to the embroidery part. Alright, now I'm getting ready to do the zigzag. And I don't ever do a backup stitch to reinforce for the zigzag because the seam's already made. I'm just trying to prevent any fraying. So that's why I don't do the backup. And this is the quick way of doing small things like this. I always do it this way. You know, where I don't cut the thread and I just, you know, like quilting. Okay. Alright, got that done. Alright, now we can stick one leg inside the other. Alright, so now we've got the legs done. This right here is your top. Okay? Oh, and I forgot to tell you, I always put a B for the back and an F for the front on the right side of the fabrics. That way, when I'm assembling everything, I know what's what. Okay, so we've got our pant leg. We need to... I usually lay it flat like that until I get this other one done, because this other one I'm going to go ahead and turn right side out. Okay, so what you want to do is, alright, so I've got my front, see, I wrote an F for the front and a B right there for the back. That way I know they're going to line up. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and take one pant leg that I've turned right side out. The other one I kept just like it was. You don't have to turn that right side out because you're going to be doing right sides together inside of these pant legs. So that's why you're doing it this way. So, let me see here. I'm trying to get to the end of the leg. Alright, so I always try to make sure that I match up all my notches and I match up the inside seam. And I hope you can see what I'm doing. Let me turn my camera around a little bit so I can see. Alright. So let me pull this leg down a little bit. Alright, let me get it down here where I can work with it better, and then I'll show you what I was doing. You want to line up your inside leg seams. And put a pin. Okay. So now we're going to match up our notches. Alright, so you have a double notch right here. Can you see that? So you want to match those up. Alright. I take my time with this because this is the really important part of the instructions. Alright, and then I go ahead and I line up the top, if you can see that. And it's hard to try to keep my hands out of the way when I'm doing this. Okay, so I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to go for the notch. That's always the first thing I do on each side. I always match up the notches. Alright, then I go to the top, just like I did before. Match that up. Okay, and now I'm going to go toward the inside of the inside seam. Alright, so now I'm going to put a pin right here. Okay, see right there? That's going toward the inside seam. And then I've got another pin over here that I've already done. Alright, so now the next step we want to do is we're going to sew from one side all the way to the inside leg, and then we're going to bring it back up. Alrighty, get my machine off zigzag. And do your backup stitch. Alright, and take your pins out as you go. Don't leave your pins in for this part. And I'm doing about a 1/4 inch seam. It's not a true 1/4 inch, you know, like for a quilt, because I don't have that 1/4 inch foot on that I got in my Wish package the other day. I would have put it on, but I didn't feel like doing it because it's late and I want to get this done, because I did promise I'd have it today, and I don't like to go back on my word. It's one thing I was taught in life: you say you're going to do something, do it. And I said I was going to do it today. Today's Wednesday, and that's what I'm doing. Alrighty. Let's hope I can upload this right on my iPad. That would be nice, because I do have the YouTube app on my iPad. So that'd be great if I can upload it. Alright, so now you cut your threads. I always cut my threads as I go. I never leave them dangling. Sometimes I watch tutorials and people leave their threads dangling, and it's like, oh, that's irritating. I don't like doing that. So, alright, now I'm getting ready to do my zigzag again, because this is for the crotch area, so you want to make sure that you get the zigzag done, because this, you know, this is going to show, and this is going to fray also, just like the inside and the side seam. So, and I'm trying to show you as much as I can, but this is kind of an awkward part of the sewing, so I hope, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask me. And, you know, we're going to be doing our live chat on Sunday. So, you know, if you have any questions Sunday, shoot, I can show you over the live chat if you want me to. Or if you want me to do a one-on-one with you, I'd be glad to do that. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, let me get my instructions down, is we need to zigzag or do an overcast of the waist. So let's go ahead and do that. That's what the instructions say to do. And a lot of times I don't follow the instructions, but this is pretty simple. So, all right, now you need to pull your legs out. And so you need to bring the wrong sides back out, make sure they're both out, just like this. Okay, this is your wrong sides here. Okay, now we're going to do the overcast, zigzag, whatever you're going to do. Let me set my machine. Alrighty. Let me tighten up my stitch a little bit. I want a little bit tighter of a zigzag on this. Alright. And just go around the top of the waist. And take your time. You don't want to rush this. I hope the lighting is good. I didn't want a lot of light because I didn't want it too bright for you. I love to sew on this machine. This is a great machine to sew on. My mother made my clothes on this, and my dog clothes. Alright, so we've done that. The next set of instructions, I believe, is going to be where we're going to be folding to make a casing. Let me see. Yep, that's what we're going to do. We're going to make a casing. Alright, so to make a casing is really simple. What I normally do, well, on the pattern piece, where's the pattern piece? Let me show you. I've got it right here. On the pattern piece, you're going to see that it has this line up here, and it says fold line. This is for your casing. So what I normally do is I don't draw the whole line. I just like do the edges, and then I line it up that way. So you want to bring the ends outside of which is the right side, you want to bring that to the inside. That's how you make a casing, just like that. Alright, you see I've got my back, and front right there. So that way I know everything is 100% right so far. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. And I always like to start with the back first because the back is where you need to leave the opening to run the elastic through. Alright, so let me see where my lines are on the side here. Okay, I made them. Where'd they go? Oh, don't say I used invisible ink. And I bet you that's what I did. I used invisible ink. Okay, let me get the pattern piece back out. I'll just size it up that way. Okay, let's see here. If all else fails, right? Okay, so now I see where my line needs to be. So I'm gonna bring it over. I've got a hemming gauge somewhere. I have no idea where it's at, or I would use that. But this will work just as well. Okay, so let me get the right side to the wrong side. Alright, now let me get the pattern piece, put it back over here, make sure that it's the right length. Let me see here. You see what I'm doing? Yeah, that's good. Alrighty, so I'll put a pin there. Okay. I normally like to bring this this is the back. I normally like to bring the back seam over to the left, because when you're running your well, the front seam too. Let me make sure I did that. No, I didn't. I'm glad I now thought about it. Because you're going to be running your elastic, if you're right-handed, from right to left. Now, if you're left-handed, you're going to run it from left to right. So, you know, whatever direction that elastic's going, you need to have the seam going in that direction. So I'm right-handed. I'm going to be running the elastic this way. And as you see, I've got it down here. So that way I won't have to worry about the elastic getting caught. Let me make sure I've got it sized up just right. I do. Okay. Alright, that's the front. I'm getting ready to go to the back again. Alright, let's see here. Alright. Okay, so I've got it all pinned. You use as many pins as you think you need to use. I use them mainly just like on the seams. And that's basically all I really do, is to make sure they're on the seams. Oh, let me make sure. Yep, that's going in the right direction. Always, and make sure you've got your side seams going right too. Yes, I do. And I've got the back, and I have the front going right. Okay, so now what you want to do is, like I said, you want to start in the back to start sewing your casing together, because that's where you're going to insert your elastic. So what I'm going to do to make it easier, because I don't have a free arm, is I'm going to bring the pants right side out. Okay, so let me see where my back is. Alright, there's my back. Alright, so the reason why I did that is because it's a lot easier to sew if you're doing it on the inside. Oh, my hand's in the way. If you're sewing on the inside like this, that's why I wanted to get my pants right side out. Alright, so I usually start maybe an inch from the seam, and I don't have needle position on this, so I have to do it like this. But about an inch from the back seam, and then just sew all the way around. I guess I could use like an edge foot on here. I didn't think about that. Oh well, this will work just as fine. Alrighty. But what you want to do is you want to make sure you get your needle as far over to the left as possible. If you have like a machine where you can adjust the needle direction. So, and I've got mine right next to that zigzag that I just did. And you see I just go little by little, and I move the waistband around so I can make sure I get it real good, and then I hold it a little taut. And I'm very careful about going over the seams, because sometimes they can be a little difficult. I forgot to tell you, when you're doing the casing and you're sewing the casing, you need to go forward a couple stitches and then go back, just like you do when you're making a seam. Alright, I'm getting ready to come up to the back, I think. Okay. Alright, I'm about an inch from the seam, so I'm going to back it up so I can lock it in and then take it off. And I have a hole big enough to get the elastic through. I usually do a hole probably Well, an inch on both sides, so that's what, 2 inches. Okay, I'm going to stop here because I forgot to get my elastic, and I'll be right back. Okay, you need an 11-inch piece of elastic about a 1/2 inch wide. Alright, so now what we're going to do is I have a safety pin on the elastic. Here's my elastic, and let me bring you around to me so I can show you better. Alright, here we are. Okay, so you take the inside of your pants where you've got made the opening. You take your elastic with your safety pin and you run it through. I'm going to get it started so I can show you. But in the hole, you see I've got the elastic hanging out, and you just run it through like this. And that's all you do. Alright, I'm going to turn it around because I can get it done a lot quicker this way. We have one more step after this. We're going to have, well, I can go ahead and tell you now, you probably already know how to do that part, but we're going to put a hem in the bottom of these pants. We're going to sew the elastic ends together, and that I will show you just in case you're not sure how to do it. Okay, and I pin it together until I can get it under the needle of the machine. Okay, let me take this safety pin out. There. The safety pin got caught up in the hoop of this, the straight pin got caught up in the hoop of the safety pin. Alright, so now you want to pull the elastic out enough so you can sew the ends together. So I usually pull out like that much right there. Okay, now I'm just going to turn you around this way if you don't mind and bring you down. Can you see? Oh, you can't see, can you? There you go. Now you can see it. Alright, so I have the straight pin, and make sure you have your elastic straight on both sides. Let me double check just to make sure, because I've got a feeling I don't. Yeah, I do. Okay, then we're going to finish this up. We're going to take the elastic out. I'm going to slide it under my machine. There we go. I think you can see now. I'll back you up a little bit. Alright. And you want to set your machine on a zigzag. And don't have too loose of a zigzag either. You're going to zigzag the ends together. Just like that. You don't have to do a whole lot with it. And that's what I did, just so I can hold it. And I'm going to cut these ends off so you don't get caught up in the in the casing, just like that. You don't need to do too much to that. And then you want to just kind of run it through like, okay, maybe we'll get through this video. Okay, when my camera on my iPad decided to stop working because I have to clean some stuff out of my storage on my iPad, I was trying to tell you that next thing we're going to do is we need to zigzag the edges of the bottom of the legs. I already have done that. Then you want to hem, and I'm sure that a lot of you know how to hem, but just in case you don't, let me get this thread real quick. Just in case you don't, this is what a hem looks like. Can you see that? Let me see. Alright, there you go. I think you can see it right there. Okay, and so I think, let me get my ruler and see how much I turned it under. So I didn't pay attention. I turned it under a 1/2 inch. And so then what you do is you do both legs. Now I'm going to do one to show you. And what I do first is I fold the right side to the inside. And I keep the right side of the fabric out, the pants out, because it's a lot easier on my machine to just go ahead and sew the inside like this. Let me go ahead and, but what you do is you get it straight here. Okay, so what you do is you just get it like that. I usually get my fingers on each end, like the inside seam and the side seam, and I just put my pins in, just like this, and I go around and for ladies' pants or PJ bottoms, whatever, shorts, whatever, just put however many straight pins you think that you feel comfortable using. Sometimes it depends. Sometimes I use a lot. Sometimes I just use a few. Alright, so now I've got my needle in the hem. So I took out my first straight pin, and let me see if I can't get you where you can see a little bit better. Let me move my, see if I can get you back here a little bit. Can you see back here? Probably not. Let me see. Nope, you can't see. Oh, maybe a little bit. My angle like this. Yeah, you can see like that, right? Yeah, you can see like that. Let me get it angled again. Get it up on its side. Like that. Yeah, I think you can see like that. We'll try it and see how it works. Alrighty. Next time I do a tutorial, I'll make sure that my storage is cleaned out. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and just, you don't have to do a back stitch. Can you see this? I have you on the back side of my machine, and I can't tell if you can see it or not. Let me stop this camera and readjust. Alright, you can see better this way. Alright, so let's go ahead and, this is the way I should do all my tutorials. I tell you what, I don't have fancy equipment. I'm trying to figure out the best way to do these tutorials so you can see good. That's what you need to do so you can learn this and see what you're supposed to be learning. Okay. So, we're almost through. Like I said, I'm on the second leg right now. And you can see how I'm doing these hems and these legs. Now, if you have a free arm machine, don't really care too much about sewing on my baby lock. And it's a lot of trouble each week for me to set up when I'm at home and take down, put in my trolley bag, take it to the shop, take it out. I mean, it's just... So I just go ahead and use this if I'm going to be sewing, which that's what I like to do during the week when I'm home. Alright, where did I put my scissors? Here they are, right here. Alright, so let me get these threads out of the way so I can cut. Okay, I'm going to turn you back toward me. Okay, now I have the pant legs, and we are done. So let me go ahead and clip my threads. And then, if I'm not too tired tomorrow when I get home from the shop, then I think I'm going to finish this outfit. But I definitely need to get some more of that fabric that I wanted to do those girls' pajama bottoms in. But I can at least do the top and get that part done. And if I can't get the fabric, I still have red fabric I can make the bottoms with, and I can always do something with that other. But anyhow, here you go. Here are the pants. I need to iron them a little bit. They got wrinkled while I'm trying to do the video. But there you go. There's a pair of pants, miniature size of what you wanted. I hope this helps. And alright, so you have a good day or a good night whenever you're watching this. Please subscribe, click the like channel, and leave comments. Oh, excuse me, leave comments and questions. Bye-bye for now.